What a brave Chelsea side. The players from Chelsea have rejuvenated by the presence of Pochettino, their new coach. If you watched today's match, you will see that Chelsea is not the same Chelsea of old. From the back line to the front, it was fire for fire. Welcome to GunnersLoversTV. I'm your host, Augustine. Today, I shall run through the first half analysis and second half analysis of what happened between Liverpool and Chelsea when they met at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool opened the scoring from through Diaz at the 18th minute, and Chelsea opened their own scoring at the 37th minute by Jackson Disasi, the Senegalese international. The first half was dominated by both Liverpool and Chelsea. The beginning of the first 20 minutes of the first half, Liverpool was pressing Chelsea. They pressed Chelsea so hard, I was worried for Chelsea's defense because at that time, Chelsea's midfield was being overrun by Liverpool. Second half of the first half witnessed a change in tactics by the Chelsea players, by the coach. What happened now is that Chelsea used more of the wings. So their left back and their right back, I'm talking of Reece James and Chilwell. They were the people who piloted the attack from the back, linking up play with Sterling and making crosses straight to Jackson, who was a thorn in the flesh of Konate and Van Dijk. So it was a serious bombardment of crosses, long-range passes, overriding the midfield of Liverpool. Had McAllister and the new guy they bought directing affairs at the midfield. I will quickly mention that the battle between McAllister and Enzo Fernandez came up tops. Don't forget, McAllister and Enzo Fernandez, they both are come from Argentina, World Cup winners, but McAllister could not cope with the pace of Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez came up top. Conor Gallagher, which everybody was afraid of. In my last video I did for Chelsea, I mentioned the fear that Conor Gallagher might not be able to cope with the intense pressure of the Premier League. But Gallagher stood up strong and he was firm. He stopped most of the attacks from the Liverpool players and then also connected well with Enzo, which resulted in a lot of distribution of passes straight to Jackson, like I said, and you find that Chelsea was a thorn in the flesh of Liverpool. Standard players for Liverpool were Konate and Diaz. Remember Diaz when he was injured last season? It was like Liverpool falling off from the cliff. So this time around, his presence was felt. He was very mobile. He was very, very fast. Had good ball control. In fact, the goal he scored was not an easy tapping. He just slided into it, but controlled it nicely, and he entered into the net. And also, standard players for Chelsea were Jackson, Disasi, Reece James, and Colwill. Colwill, I have to mention, a young man who stood very firm at the defense. He was very, very effective for Chelsea today, and he needs to be applauded. Chelsea had good win play, but let me tell you how Chelsea demystified or reduced or bombarded Liverpool, and Liverpool were almost playing defensive game at some point. Chelsea did what Liverpool do to other teams. So Chelsea did high pressing most of the time, and then they turn on Liverpool and sit there and Anywhere the ball comes, they will be the first to get it. So that was what Chelsea did. The wing play today from Chelsea was very, 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 very good. Very fantastic. They connected well. I will tell you what I think about that wing play towards the end of this video. So stay tuned. In terms of goalkeeper, I am of the opinion that it was very good. It was a very good decision to have bought Sanchez from Brighton. Sanchez had more commanding presence, very strong presence in goal. He was not jittery. His passes were good, except towards the end when he made one very reckless pass, on-rushing Liverpool player, I think it was Nunes or so, did not control the ball very well. He was fortunate. Sanchez was fortunate. He got the ball back. Apart from that, I think generally his first match debut was, I can consider it, he got 80 over 100. He did very well. The goal that was scored was not mainly his fault. It was a defensive error that, Jackson really lashed. Jackson is very fast as a player. They didn't miss too much the presence of Nkunku, but if Nkunku was in that team today, I think Liverpool would have struggled. So first half ended 1-1. It was a fair result. Second half came up, and apart from the first 5 minutes that Liverpool turned up, I thought, okay, they've learned their lesson. Liverpool of old, they are going to come back. No, it was Chelsea of old, the Mourinho Chelsea, the Chelsea that we know that used to win during Tuchel and all, that came back and they took over the driving seat. From 52 minutes down, oh my God, it was all Chelsea. Diaz tried to do a flick towards Chelsea's goal, but it landed on Jackson's hand. I'm now going to be giving you what the VAR calls that took place. So VAR calls, in fact, let's start from the first one in the first half, where Mo Salah's goal was disallowed, just an inch offside. After Liverpool players had finished rejoicing, I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry to announce the untimely death of that goal. Therefore, no goal, offside, and then it was free kick or more or less to Chelsea. So the same thing happened in the second half. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. It happened to Chelsea too. Chilwell bombarded Chelsea and scored a very fantastic goal. But like I told you, VAR has come in place again. They have come. After the Chelsea fans rejoiced, thanking God for giving them this day. Of course, God is still continuing to give them this day. What happened was that the referee confided with the VAR officials, and that goal was cancelled. It dashed the hope of Chelsea fans. It dashed the hope of the players. But this is where there was a difference between Chelsea and Liverpool. What was the impact of the disallowed goal? I think from the moment Mo Salah's the second goal of Liverpool by Mo Salah was disallowed, excuse me, I think the moment Mo Salah's goal was disallowed, Liverpool fell flat. That goal affected Liverpool performance. So what I can think is that Liverpool just came, okay, let's try and get 2 goals and sit at the back, block everywhere. When they got the 2 goals, they said the game plan is, this is the game plan. Only to discover that that goal was disallowed. After then, Chelsea, whereas, were galvanized by the disallowed goal. You could see Pochettino on their manager, on the manager's line, giving them instructions, saying, look, that means we have hit the right button. Put on more pressure on Liverpool. And that pressure continued. I must say at that time, it got to a point, Chelsea had about 75% possession of ball. Liverpool were scrambling for crumbs everywhere. Because anywhere they go, even when they kick out ball, the first person that it will land on is a Chelsea player. Now, I must also mention that the performance of Robinson for Liverpool and Gakpo was appalling. They did not do well at all. I didn't see the Robinson of before. What Chilwell was doing to Liverpool was what Robinson was doing to other teams. Is it because the effect of this is the first match? Maybe nobody's at full speed at the moment. So we can attribute that to the reason why Robinson was not as effective as Chilwell. Gakpo, in my own assessment, did not really show any presence. He did not show. Rather, it was Diaz and Mo Salah. They were linking up. In the final analysis of this match, I must say that the substitution of Chelsea's captain, Reece James, and Mo Salah also affected the game, positive and negative. For instance, now, removing Mo Salah was very angry. He was throwing everything away from his hand. He didn't wait to properly undress on the bench. You know, it affected Liverpool briefly until Elliott came up of speed, and Elliott connected well with Nunes, that was also brought in, and Robinson. When Gakpo was there, Gakpo could not really connect well with Robinson. Otherwise, the runs that Elliott were making, you know, Robinson was able to put in a lot of crosses when Elliott came in towards the end of the game, you see. But Mo Salah's absence, I would have wanted Nunes to have started that match, Mo Salah and Elliott. But because, I don't know, maybe they play the same wing, Elliott and Mo Salah. That's why. That's why they did not introduce Elliott, or maybe it was a change in tactics. Anyway, Mudrik's touch that went bad, you know, towards the end of the match, could have sealed it for Chelsea. Could have sealed it for Chelsea. But because his touch was very bad, you know, and that was one of the criticism he had last season. Mudrik dribbles very well. His speed is very good, but his touches and you know, his link-up play is good. His touches and taking his chances has been a problem for him. You know, in my assessment, I wanted to discuss the, you know, issue of the effect of disallowed goals on teams. You know, disallowed goals through VAR is no longer new to players. So I will therefore advise that players do not get carried away to celebrate until they get confirmation, especially when it comes to goals that after you just score it, you have to at least look at the linesman, look at the referee to see reactions before you go on celebrating. Otherwise, it is always very, very sad to see players, after working so hard, you know, scoring a goal, fans are carried away celebrating, only to discover that that goal has been cancelled, you know, by just the decision, confirmation of one man called referee in the field. Now, my man of the match for Chelsea-Liverpool's match is Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez. I would have given it to Jackson, but I would say, if not for the engine room where marshaled by Enzo and Conor Gallagher, especially Enzo, Enzo was like a rock which Conor Gallagher relied on, and he gave proper directives and, showed proper leadership. So Enzo Fernandez is the man of the match for me in today's match. The full time, Chelsea won, Liverpool won. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me your comments. Send in your comments and analyze the match in your own way. And I wish Chelsea, Liverpool fans congratulations on the day. See you in my next video.